Hey, what's up, guys? My name is Marquise McKinney, and today we have two goals. The first goal will be for me to explain credit and credit cards in particular, whether they're good or bad. And two will be for me to answer the most common question that I receive: Marquise, should I buy a house? All right, guys, let's get into it. So the first part is, what is credit? Well, credit is just basically how banks and lenders and people who are about to give you money, they rate your trustworthiness. Like, can this person pay back a loan or pay back some money? That's basically what credit boils down to, okay? The next part, that's a very simple thing. The next part is whether or not credit cards, and this is the most important thing that I want to go over, whether or not credit cards are good or bad. Well, the answer is it depends on you, okay? The cool part about this, though, is that you have 100% control over whether they're good or bad, all right? For me, they're the best thing in the world, or at least one of the best things in the world besides my girl, too. But anyway, they're one of the best things in the world, and it's because I get something called reward points. All right, so I'm going to actually show you guys my credit cards, pull up my credit report so that you guys can see actual examples. Okay, so that's kind of what sets me apart from most people. I actually did it, and I'm only going to be using myself as examples so that you guys can understand this stuff that I'm teaching you actually works. Okay, it's been proven. I've done it. All right, it's a lot of misinformation out there, so you have to be careful, right? But if you look here, so as you guys can see here, I have an 804 at TransUnion and an 819 at Equifax. I have a net worth of about 974. Now again, that doesn't count for a couple stocks, so it's a little bit over $1 million, but that's not important. And then you also have my car value at $23,000. Touching on that really quick, I bought that car with 0 miles on it, so it's brand new, very reliable. It's a 2023 Bronco. You don't have to get the fanciest car, and honestly, if you're trying to be wealthy, you probably shouldn't get the fanciest car, right? So as you guys can see, 804 here. Credit factors, payment history is 100%. Credit card usage is at 0%, and it's the exact same thing if you go over here at Equifax, right? So now let's go over here to credit card usage, because we're talking about credit cards. All right, so as you guys can see here, out of my $152,000 that I have access to at any time, I am using $696, and this is actually inaccurate because sometimes they don't upload it as fast or update it as fast, right? So I actually owe $0, okay? Because I follow the golden rule. I don't spend any money on my credit card unless I have that exact same amount of money in my bank account. I'll repeat that. Do not spend any money on your credit card unless you have the exact amount in your bank account, okay? And the reason why is because that's the difference between making it the best thing in the world and your biggest nightmare, okay? But it's just that simple. And that's why I'm trying to tell you guys, it's very simple, but I didn't say it's easy. Because look at all this. They're saying, hey, Marquise, you have access to $152,000. Really think about that. That means I can go out and buy a Lamborghini right now. Who doesn't want to get a Lamborghini, right? But you have to be strong. You have to have willpower. You have to have that mental fortitude. That's why I told you the two things that are the foundation of success are, I hope you remember, accountability and discipline. Okay, so now let's click right here and look at this card. This is the card I use the most.
the Navy Federal card. Last reported January 13th, 2025. So literally, this is as up to date as you'll ever see. And then we've got our credit limit of $52,000, minimum monthly payment $20. But again, this is inaccurate. Understand that this is at $0 because I follow that golden rule I just told you guys about. I don't spend any money on my credit card unless I have the exact same amount of money in my bank account, right? It was opened about 9 years and 7 months ago. And as you guys can see here, you've made 100% of payments on time. This is what I mean when I say discipline, right? Understand this is discipline. This is what makes you successful. Doing it no matter what, right? I don't spend any money on my credit card unless I have that exact same amount of money in my bank account, right? That's the third time that I've told you that because it is that important, okay? Why is it so important? Well, that's what I'm about to go into next. Okay, so as you guys can see here, I just brought up a credit card calculator. I mean, you guys can bring up the exact same thing and follow along if you want to and put in your own information. You can just go on Google and search up credit card calculator, right? But for this example, we have a credit card balance of $10,000. We have an interest rate at 25%. Ironically, that's actually lower than my credit card interest rates, okay? So that just can show you how absurd this is, right? And then we have pay a certain amount, which is $210. Understand this is actually higher than the minimum payment. The minimum payment was actually $208. I put $210 for easy math, right? So it would take you even longer than this. Understand if you made the minimum payment on your credit cards, it would take you almost 20 years, 19 years and 7 months to pay off $10,000. And the total amount of interest will be almost $40,000. That means you gave away $39,255.79. And it just goes to absolutely nothing. It doesn't go to nothing. It goes to the big corporations and it helps them buy yachts and private jets and have fancy dinners. So they love you, but it doesn't do anything for you. Okay. And then I want to actually put this in different terms, right? Because some people are like, oh, well, interest is not that bad. Well, what this says is that it took you 19 years to become $10,000 richer, right? It took you 19 years and 7 months to become worth $10,000 more. That's all this is saying, okay? All right, so now that you guys have a good understanding of credit and credit cards, we're going to take a quick pause on that to answer the question of, hey, Marquise, should I buy a home? All right, but don't worry, because credit and purchasing a home go hand in hand. So we'll circle back around to it and put it all together, all right? Now, to answer the question, should you purchase a home? Well, the answer is it depends. All right, and the reason why it depends is because there's a lot of different factors that go into purchasing a home, okay? However, I formed a question that is actually like a little cheat sheet to check all the boxes, right? And that question is, are you richer than a newborn baby? I know it sounds crazy, right? But believe it or not, a lot of people in America are not actually richer than a newborn baby because you have a car payment, you have credit card debt, you have student loan debt, you have a lot of these debts, all right? When you have all of these debts, it's not the best thing to take on more debts. And I'll explain here. So if you look right here, so this is the breakdown for purchasing a $300,000 home. You'll have to put down 20%, which is $60,000. you'll have a 30-year traditional fixed loan at a 7% interest rate. All right. For the first 6 years, you'll be paying a mortgage payment of $2,172. Now, quick little disclaimer here. Usually mortgage payments actually go up because your property taxes and your insurance goes up. But we're just gonna pretend like it'll stay at this no matter what, right? But your mortgage payment is made up of 4 parts, okay? You might want to write this down or re-listen to this part of the video. The principal is the most important part. This is the part that you care about. This is actually your net worth. This is what goes to making you richer. This is what goes to paying off your home, okay? So that's what principal is. Then you have your interest. The interest, again, is what the banks get. This is what the rich people use to buy the yachts and have the fancy dinners, right? And then you have your taxes. That's what we use in America for that's what we use in America for stuff that we say that we're going to use it for that I don't really know. Anyway, then you have your insurance. I just went with $200. I am an insurance agent, so that's usually about what we see. You have to have insurance. It's probably the best thing in the world because you need to make sure that you're protecting your assets, right? Now, let's actually really look at this and break this down. So for the first 6 years, you'll have a mortgage payment of $2,172. The part that goes in your pocket is $197 to $297, right? What that means is for the first 6 years, every single time that you make a payment of $2,172, only $200 to $300 will actually go to you. All of the other money is going to someone else, whether it's interest, whether it's taxes, or whether it's insurance. It's not going to you, right? You can sugarcoat it however you want it. It's not going to you, okay? So as you can see, I broke down that increase of net worth, right? We're going to jump right here. That increase of net worth over 6 years, when you actually do all the math, you will make $17,343 over 6 years. Not the greatest, but it's a lot better than that other example we showed you about the credit cards, right? Remember, the credit cards were only going to make you $10,000 richer over almost 20 years. So this is almost double in less than 1/3 of the time, right? So that's way better. But I have something even better. Now watch this. Okay, so you guys remember when I said we were going to circle back around? Well, here we are. We just brought up another credit card calculator, and we're going to put in the exact same example, right? We've got a credit card balance of $10,000. We have an interest rate at 25%. The only thing that we're going to change is instead of making that minimum payment of $200, we're actually going to pay $2,172 per month. Where did I get that? Well, I got that from the house payment, right? So now instead of having a house, we're going to just take care of our debt. Well, what happens when we do that? As you can see right here at the top, look at the results. It will take 5 months to pay off the balance. What does that actually mean? Well, that means in 5 months, you will be $10,000 richer, or your net worth will be $10,000 higher than it was 5 months ago. That sounds a heck of a lot better than 20 years. That sounds a heck of a lot better than increasing your net worth by $17,000 over 6 years, right? This will take you only 5 months to make your self-worth more than, or make your self-worth worth $10,000 more than what you were worth, right? Understand, there is a reason why they don't teach you about finances in school. They make so much money from you being ignorant and not understanding finances. It's actually laughable, right? My job is to educate you on finances, educate you on what's possible, give you the tools necessary so that you can make better financial decisions, so that you can break these generational curses, so that you can do better and understand that you are worth more. Listen, I'm not saying it's going to be easy. What I am saying is that it's possible. What I am saying is that it's worth it. What I am saying is that you can do it. We've all been dealt a certain set of cards in life, but you have to play your cards the best way possible. Circumstances are not an excuse for responsibility. You have a responsibility to yourself. You have a responsibility to your parents. You have a responsibility to your kids and or your future kids. You can do it. You just have to make sure you have accountability and discipline. Let's go. All right, guys, that's a wrap. Hopefully you guys learned a lot from that video and you guys are one step closer to becoming financially free. This is the part of the video where, again, I shout out a couple people. Shout out to my boy Rich. Bro, you used to let me sleep on your couch when I didn't have a place to go. You'll always be my brother for that. I appreciate you, my dude. Shout out to my boy Mitchell. Bro, we grew up together. You was always there for me, long time friend. And shout out to everybody else who's popping out. Love my mom, my mother-in-law, mama. Thank you for everything. Thank you for blessing me with Diana. And thank you, Diana, for doing everything that you do. Bye.